First and foremost, I'd like to say hello, welcome back to the channel. I took a couple weeks off because I had some personal issues that I needed to take care of, and I didn't want to rush out content knowing that I wouldn't be fully invested in the content that I'm making. Because as I always tell you guys, I don't do this for the money, I do this for the impact. And I want to make sure that when I do make content for you all, I'm putting my all into it. So now I'm back focused. Let's roll the intro. Hello, my amazing kings and queens. King Moreland here. As you know, I'm on a mission to help you unlock your full potential and become the absolute best versions of yourself. Whether you're facing challenges, chasing dreams, or just looking to level up in life, you've come to the right place. Every week, we dive deep into strategies, mindset shifts, and practical tools that will transform your life from the inside out. This is your channel, your personal development channel, so that you can become the powerhouses you were meant to be in the world. A channel where mediocrity isn't an option, excellence is our standard. So if you're ready to join a community of passionate individuals committed to growth like yourself, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's continue on this journey together. Felt so good to say that again. We're back, and I'm going to do the best job I can to remain consistent for you all, because I know that the content and the knowledge that I have, the wisdom that I have, is very important to get out to the world. So I'm going to do my part. Make sure you tune in and do yours. Okay, so this is episode 10. I'm excited. This is a special episode. Every 10th episode is going to be a Deca Monday drop, which basically means that a lot of times I do my episodes in threes. Maybe eventually I'll have a 6-part episode or a series. But since I do it in threes and my favorite number is 10, I decided that I'm going to do a storytelling episode every 10th episode. So here's the first one. Check out that cover. It says, How the Fruit Grows, my very first parable. So, I have a story to read to you all today. Tune in. This one's a good one. So, let's get it started. My very first parable. How the Fruit Grows. Chapter 1. The seed is given. It all started one day when the sky wore no color, just a dusty gray that seemed to make one's entire mood dull. Then it happened. A traveler paused at the edge of the village and approached a young gardener tending to a dry soil. Without saying a word, the traveler placed the seed into the gardener's palm. It was smooth, weightless, and warm, like it had been alive longer than time itself. Then he said, "This is no ordinary seed. It will grow a fruit like no other." But not all fruits survive. Before the gardener could ask questions like, "What does that even mean?" the traveler was gone, swallowed by the wind. And now we're going to move on to chapter 2. I want to make sure you guys are able to follow along in the story and also see the beautiful cover art on this thing. All right. Chapter 2. Testing the soil. The gardener, unsure but hopeful, searched for a place to plant the seed. They found a patch of earth that looked rich enough and pressed the seed gently into the soil. The next morning, a storm rolled in. Rain pounded the ground, wind tore through the air like a warning. The gardener rushed out to find the soil, slipping away, the seed nearly uncovered, clinging to life. They pushed the dirt back into place with trembling hands, whispering apologies to the ground. Chapter 3. The Temptation of Speed. As weeks passed, the gardener met others who had planted seeds of their own. The trees grew fast, too fast. One gardener boasted of magic mixtures and potions that can make a sapling rise in days. You can borrow mine, he said. He offered it with a grin. Skip the wait, you know. The gardener looked back at their little sprout, barely poking through the earth, and they shook their head no. No, they said. Mine has its own rhythm. It will grow at its own speed. I think that might have been a good decision. What do you think? Drop a comment below. Chapter 4. The days of drought. The sun became a stubborn overseer. Days passed, then weeks. No rain, no breeze, just heat and humidity. Man, we hate those kind of days. The gardener kept returning, watering with the last of their pail. Even with the ground cracked and the seed stood and the plant stood motionless. Neighbors mocked them. Still no tree, huh? Must be a bad seed, huh? But the gardener kept showing up, and when the rain returned, so did the green. Chapter 5. Make an adjustment. Okay. Chapter 5. It started at as a glance, a peek over the fence. Next door, another gardener's tree had grown. Tall, thick branches, wide leaves, and early fruit. Laughter came from over the fence, and often praise as well. The gardener's joy began to fade. They watered less, they smiled less. They started to wonder if they planted the wrong seed, or if their seed was going to take off at all. And then one night, curiosity took over. They crept to the fence, and then through a gap, they slipped through the other side. And to their surprise, the tree was fake. Plastic leaves, painted fruit, all for show. The gardener returned to their soil in silence, but more thankful than ever because theirs was real. Chapter 6. Worm of Doubt. The sprout had grown into a tree, small but steady. One morning, the gardener noticed a hole in a leaf. A day later, another one. A worm, tiny, crawled under the shade. The gardener was busy. It didn't seem like an urgent task to tend to at the time. They left the tree and paid the host no mind. Costly decision. But days passed, and then the hose grew into sickness. Leaves withered, a branch darkened. The garden dug deep and pulled the worm out with quiet rage. They nearly lost the entire tree. Chapter 7. The Wall of Distraction. New vines began to grow nearby, vivid, wild, colorful. They stretched across the garden, offering quick fruit and instant bloom. The gardener was tempted. The vines were fun, fast, loud. They stopped visiting the tree every day. Soon, the vines began creeping into the tree's soil, twisting around its trunk, pulling at its roots, almost causing it to collapse under its own weight. The gardener returned with a blade and cut them down. It hurt, but they knew why they had to do it. Chapter 8. The Flames. One evening, a flame was seen far off. By dawn, it was at the garden's edge. The wind screamed, ash fell like snow. Many trees were lost. The gardener held their breath, watching the fire inch closer and closer. And when it came, it roared, but the tree, rooted deep, stood firm. The fire passed, and the tree survived. Chapter 9. At last, the first fruit. A small bud, then two, then a bloom. The gardener barely dared to breathe. It had finally arrived. The very first fruit. It glowed in the sunlight, blushing with color. They reached out once, twice, and then pause. No, wait. It's not ready yet. Give it a little bit more time. So they waited, gardened it, protected it, and let it ripen even more. Until the day came, it gently fell on its own into their hand. Sweet, warm, and ready to eat. Finally, ready to eat. Chapter 10. The choice to share. The traveler returned, silent once more. The gardener, now older, offered the fruit without being asked. The traveler smiled and nodded to affirm their delight. The next day, the gardener took the seeds from the fruit and walked into that very same village he once lived. And after seeing a kid kneeling in the dirt, they bent down and placed a single seed in that child's palm and stated the same words they once heard. This seed is no ordinary seed. It will grow fruit like no other. But not all fruits survive. Then he walked into the distance in hopes that the young child would seek to understand as he once did. The end. Well, I want to thank you again for coming back to my YouTube, or if it's your first time, welcome. Thank you for watching. As you know, I put together many of YouTube videos, and most times I do 3-part series, but as I said in the beginning, every 10th episode is going to be special like this one. I will be releasing stories that are rich in meaning. So please tell me below what you think it means. And thank you for tuning in. Tell me what you think the seed represents. And if you've enjoyed this content, as always, please share, please like, please subscribe and come back. And as always, I want you all to know I love you, and I know that together we'll make the world a better place, one person at a time. See you soon. Amen.